The export of livestock from New Zealand has been a feature of our farming systems for a long time. Changes were made in 2008 to halt the export of livestock for slaughter. Since that time there has been a steady flow of exports for breeding purposes. But concerns about the risk to New Zealand's reputation from this trade have been steadily increasing. We began the 2019 livestock export review to look at what options were available to address the risks to our reputation. We received a lot of feedback from that review, including from our independent National Animal Welfare Advisory Committee, who recommended the trade stop. The tragic sinking of the Gulf Livestock 1 ship in 2020 brought the dangers to a head, and we introduced a temporary ban on livestock exports, while the Heron Review recommended improvements to our system. Although many of these have been implemented, there remains an ongoing level of concern with the welfare of these animals while at sea for up to 3 weeks. Over recent years, we've seen some of the reports from these ships, many of which are not designed for live exports, where conditions on board have led to many adverse animal welfare outcomes. The fact is that once animals leave New Zealand by sea, we have very limited ability to ensure their well-being before they reach their destination. That's why this morning we're announcing that the export of livestock by sea will cease following a transition period of up to 2 years. At the heart of our decision is upholding New Zealand's reputation for high standards in animal welfare. New Zealand must stay ahead of the curve in a world where animal welfare is under increasing scrutiny if we truly want to be the most ethical producers of food. While New Zealand has only been a small part of the global livestock trade, I acknowledge that it has been able to generate additional revenue for some farmers. But ultimately, we aren't able to guarantee the welfare of these animals at sea, and that is an unacceptable risk to New Zealand's reputation. The transition period of up to 2 years will allow affected businesses, both in New Zealand and around the world, the time to wind down their trade and adjust their operations. This is a complex process to unwind, so the final exact length of the transition period will be determined pending further advice from the Ministry for Primary Industries. I've also asked NPI to provide advice on possible improvements to animal welfare on ships during the transition period. It's not about China, it's about animal welfare. We have a mature relationship with them. I'm sure they understand our position that we want to uphold our reputation to ensure that everything that we trade is from an ethical base. And look, we're moving as an industry across the sectors to try and move from volume to values. That is, that the values that underpin everything that we produce are the best in the world. And this one area of animal welfare is an area where we have to move on and ensure that not just on farm, but if there's any transportation issues that we uphold the highest standards.